Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. And if you can recall, a little bit ago I posted a video showing you guys a big box full of Jurassic World toys that I got for a pretty good price with the local classifieds in my area, specifically the Facebook Marketplace. I tend to search areas like that in Craigslist often for lots of dinosaurs so I can try to find anything that's old and awesome that people are just kind of trying to get rid of, and I scooped them up for a very good price, normally, and everybody's happy. So, today we have another box full of dinosaurs that I got within the past few months. I kind of forgot to post a few of the finds that I got, so now I'm trying to catch up. This was a box full of Jurassic Park toys for the most part, and I absolutely could not believe my eyes when I saw how many figures they were selling for such a good price. And again, this is a little bit higher than what I would normally pay. I usually like to try to find them somewhere between the range of $20 to $40. This one was $75, so it was a good bit more, but there was also a lot of figures. And for how much and how rare the Jurassic Park figures are, I was pretty unbelievably excited to get these for this price. There were also a few other randoms thrown in there, but I was specifically buying it pretty much for the Jurassic Park toys. So either way, let's take a look and see what ones I got. Now, they're not all in the best shape, as they were definitely played with, but when it comes to older Jurassic Park toys, you're kind of going to get that, considering a lot of them are 25 years old, or even older, really, and the majority are basically within the 20-year-old range. Some of the Jurassic Park III ones that I did receive are not so much, they're not quite as old, but either way, I kind of expected some to show up pretty beat up, and a lot of them I actually purchased in an attempt to repaint them at some point because I already had them, but either way, they were included, so it was awesome. And we'll start out with the Thrasher T-Rex. So already, in my opinion, even though this one you can see has some definite wear, some significant wear, already this is probably worth the $75 price tag because a lot of these Thrasher Rexes go for about that price, sometimes even more, and regardless of it being beat up as far as the paint goes, I really only wanted this guy to repaint, so the paint being scuffed and all really has no effect on me, and overall it doesn't really look like there are any tears or anything in the skin, which is a huge plus for me considering how old this is, and it's got this rubbery feeling, so this kind of stuff tears and rots pretty easily. I was excited to find one that was in pretty good shape. I already do have the Thrasher Rex, again from when I was a child. I still have my own, but either way, I'm going to be super excited to repaint this guy. Then there was a Stegosaurus. Now, one thing about this Stegosaurus, you can see that there are a few scuffs and stuff on the paint, but the tail is gone. So ultimately, the scuffs on the paint really don't mean anything. I do actually already have two other of these Stegosaurus figures, so I might make an attempt to maybe resculpt the tail or like take a cast of one of the other tails and maybe re-glue it on here. I don't know. I've never done that before. I have seen other people do that kind of thing. I don't know if it would work with this tail considering it's a rubbery texture. I'm not really sure, but something I may look into. But what is cool about this Stegosaurus in general was the fact that this battle damage wound actually has the cover to it. I haven't found it quite in the box as it's probably buried deep in the bottom of the box right now, but it did come with the wound cover, so the other two Stegosaurus figures that I do have that are in pretty good shape don't have the wound cover, so I'm excited to have that, and I can put the wound cover on the others, and maybe I can make a diorama and just paint this one as a deceased corpse or something. Or, again, try to cast the tail and then glue it on and maybe repaint it. I'm not sure, we'll see. Either way, it was pretty cool to get it regardless of this. Then there is the old Kenner Stegosaurus, and it's yet another one that I do already have, so it's yet another one that I'm going to repaint. You can see there are quite a few scuffs and marks on the paint of the actual figure. This side's not so bad, I mean, it's got a little bit, but either way, something I'm going to repaint. I always did love this Stegosaurus, even if it has a fairly strange look to it. But I played with mine so much when I was a kid that it definitely holds a special place in my heart, and it'll be pretty fun to repaint one. Then as far as Jurassic Park III figures go, we did get this guy, and if you can recall a little while ago, and I had received a box of dinosaur figures, I actually had received this figure as well. This one was in the box with the others, and it was missing the lower jaw, so I was pretty bummed that he didn't have the lower jaw. I remember thinking, darn, that's awesome that I could get this figure. I was super excited about it. Then I pulled it out of the box, and it was missing the lower jaw, so it was pretty depressing at the time. But now I got one that has the lower jaw, so again, I may take the lower jaw of this and maybe try to cast the lower jaw so I can maybe put it on the other one. I think that might work. Again, I'm going to have to look into how you actually do that. But either way, super psyched to get this one. And it's in pretty darn good shape too. The paint overall looks really, really nice. And it honestly looks like it was barely played with at all. Then to go off course from Jurassic Park a little bit, I got this Jasmine Pachycephalosaurus, which is a very, very strange looking figure. But I did collect quite a few of these older Jasmine figures at one time that I found. So I can just throw it in with the other collection of those guys, regardless of it being a fairly ugly figure. It's still pretty fun for being an old school, very, very old school dinosaur toy, and I love those. I also got the Definitely Dinosaurs Triceratops, and this was super exciting as I love the Definitely Dinosaurs line. It's something I played with a lot when I was a child, but I actually never had the Triceratops. I was never able to score one, but my parents just would not ever buy me one, so I was beyond excited to finally get one. He's pretty filthy and could definitely use a touching up, which I may do myself to try to cover up all the scuffs, but super exciting to have one of these guys. Then we have some Chaos Effect figures, and I don't know too much about the Chaos Effect line, but this Velociraptor is super cool looking. He really is, and he still works and all. He's in pretty good shape, doesn't really have any issues with the paint or anything like that, so this is an awesome find in my opinion. I was really, really excited to get a hold of this one, and this is probably one of the best Chaos figures that there were. I think there were a few repaints of the T-Rex figures that I actually never purchased because honestly I don't really need them, but if I ever find them for cheap I would probably buy them, but this raptor just looks so cool. I also got some of these strange hybrids that came out, but I honestly have absolutely no idea what this dinosaur figure is. It's a line that I never really followed. I don't know too much about these hybrids or whatever these things are, but they're Jurassic Park figures either way, so definitely something that I do want to have. And even though they are ugly for the most part, I'm not really a big fan of them. They're still kind of cool, I guess. And going on with those weird ones, here is the Amargasaurus version, or the Amargaspinosaurus. I don't know what this thing was, I forget. But here was the other one. I actually already have this guy, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to try to repaint one, or if I'll just end up giving one to my son. Probably just give one to my son, because I can't help but to love to see the excitement on his face when I give him any kind of a new dinosaur toy, but specifically a Jurassic Park one really makes his day, so I'll probably just give this thing to him. Then some more figures that I already had, but now I've got some more, were these Pteranodons with the cloth wings, and you can see aside from the wings being a little dirty, they're in pretty good shape. There's no tears or anything. The other one actually, I don't know why I got this one out, because the other one's actually in a little bit better shape than this one, but regardless, I actually already have the Pteranodon too, so again, something that maybe I'll repaint, or maybe I'll just have a flock of pterosaurs flying over my collection, who knows. Then there was a Jurassic Park III Triceratops, which this one is not so great. It's pretty ugly as far as Triceratops goes, but it's Jurassic Park, so I love it regardless. Just probably the ugliest Triceratops that I think has ever been maybe in the toy line. I don't know, there might have been uglier ones that I may not have even seen yet. The overall paint really looks pretty nice, and the fairly nice detail on it, but that head with the way the horns are on it looks a little weird. Either way, it's Jurassic Park, so I like it. Then there were some JP3 Raptors. This one is a really cool looking raptor. I kind of like him. I like the neat looking paint scheme he's got going to him. The overall sculpt and detail does not look bad. He definitely looks pretty cool, and his paint overall is in pretty good shape. He's got no scuffs or anything like that. Definitely looks good, so awesome to have this one. And the other JP3 Raptor that I got was this guy. Also very cool, but he's got a severe underbite for some reason. I don't know why. That is like really, really bad of an underbite. But the overall appearance of this figure is actually pretty nice, and I definitely dig the paint scheme. And again, he's in pretty good shape, no real scuffs or anything, so nice to see one show up, or actually a couple of them show up in really, really good shape. There was also the Lost World Pachycephalosaurus, whose head is right now currently down in his neck. But regardless, I do already have this figure, and I'm excited to have another one, because I really always was a big fan of this figure. I really, really liked it. I used to play with this guy all the time when I was a kid as well, so it's exciting to get another one that maybe I can repaint at some point. Then probably the most common Jurassic Park figure that I find in the history of Jurassic Park is 2 more of these Dimetrodons, so without question I will be repainting probably both of these, as I already do have 2 of them to begin with, but they're both actually in pretty good shape. The one's sail here is a little messed up, it looks like, but other than that, they're not bad shape, and they are awesome figures. And another Jurassic Park Parasaurolophus. I do already have this guy as well, but again, as I've been saying, I've got a lot of awesome Jurassic Park figures to repaint over time, so this is going to be yet another repaint at some point, or I may repaint my other one, because this one actually looks to be in pretty good shape. It's a little paint scuff or something up there in the crack behind the head, but either way, it's in pretty good shape, so awesome. Then we've got the Lost World Spinosaurus, and not the best Spinosaurus figure, that's for sure, but he's not the worst. However, he is missing an arm, so that's actually kind of sad. And the weird thing about it was, I actually found one of these guys at a flea market locally for $1 a while back, and he was also missing an arm. I'm curious if it's the same arm, because if it's not, maybe I'll just take this arm and put it on the other one, and then I'll have a complete one, even though I already have a complete one, but then I'll have another complete one and I can repaint it. I also got this Jurassic Park Pteranodon, which is a pretty strange looking Pteranodon, and his wings are really, really loose. I don't know if they were always like that. The button still works, but it gets jammed a little bit here and there. You can see it still works. And the paint and everything overall looks pretty good. It's not really nicked up too bad or anything like that, so another figure I actually did not have, and I am now very excited to have. There was also this strange pterosaur, which I don't know anything about. It's apparently by Tycho, so I don't really know. Maybe it's something that one of you guys can help me out with and let me know what exactly it is, because I really have no idea, but it looks pretty cool, I guess. And maybe the second most popular Jurassic Park figure is these Dilophosauruses. I already have a few of them, but regardless, cool to have some more, and something that I will definitely be repainting and could probably look pretty nice once repainted, as they do have some great detail. But it came with 2, so I'll have lots to repaint. Then there's the old Cyclops Raptor. Not in the best shape. His face looks like it's a little scuffed up, but it's not in bad shape by any means, especially on this side. Actually looks pretty darn nice. And I did already have this. I actually have it in another paint scheme as well. Looks like the tail maybe has a little wear there too, but either way, I love this figure. I love the look of this figure, and if I do already have this exact paint scheme, which I'm almost positive I do, something I'll probably repaint. I also got another color scheme of the Baryonyx. If you watched my Jurassic World Find video, I showed you guys that I got the green Baryonyx, but now I have this version of the Baryonyx. So exciting to have the alternate color scheme from the other one that I already do have. Then there's the JP3 Dilophosaurus, which I never had one of these guys either. Didn't really buy too many of the JP3 toys, so I was psyched to have this guy, even though he's not the best Dilophosaurus. I didn't have it regardless. This thing's been bootlegged a lot too, I know that, but the original definitely looks way better than any of their knockoff bootleg versions, even though it's not the best looking Jurassic Park figure there is. Then there was one of these classic Kenner figures. I used to have this guy, well, I still have him somewhere, but I used to play with this guy all the time when I was younger, and I was again super excited to get another one. I'm not sure if I ever actually found the one that I had when I was a kid, but if I did, I'll probably repaint this one as well. Either way, awesome. Then there was the Tanystropheus, which he is not in the best shape. His neck is pretty beat up. You can see it's just kind of wobbly at this point, but it's not that bad. The overall paint isn't scuffed up too bad on the body, just the neck in general. You can see looks a little rough, but I actually really like this figure, and I do already have it, so I'm not too worried about the neck being beat up a little bit, but it's still a very cool figure. And again, going off of the Jurassic Park track here, we got a baby Godzilla from the Matthew Broderick Godzilla film. You could see him there, the little baby comes out of the egg. It also came with the egg that he was hatching from, so I didn't have this. I do actually like this movie quite a bit. A lot of people hate it. I don't really consider it a Godzilla film, but it's still a cool giant monster run amok in a city film. So it was pretty cool to find this and have it be included with all these other awesome figures. There was also a Jurassic Park Chasmosaurus, which I have probably 3 or 4 of already. So this is definitely something you'll be seeing repainted on my channel very soon at some point. Not my favorite sculpt or anything of the Chasmosaurus, but it's still quite an awesome figure from the Jurassic Park line. Then there is the old Screaming Velociraptor from Kenner. Again, another one that I already have. I actually have 2 others, and now I've got a third. Love this figure. I always have, especially from when I was a kid. I don't know if the sound works or anything, but the arms go out, so my guess is maybe. I'll have to try it at some point once I grab some batteries. I also got the Lost World Baby T-Rex. So this is awesome. I used to have a couple of these little babies when I was younger, but I don't know whatever happened to them. I love this figure. I love the glass-looking eyes, and I love the fact that it actually has its leg wrapped up and everything like it does in the movie. These figures were very, very cool, and I would love to be able to acquire all of the other ones at some point, so this is a great way to start by getting one for quite a cheap price. We also got some of these old green Pachycephalosaurus figures, which I did already have, but either way I'm excited to have some more of because they are awesome. I always had a soft spot for these figures, and they have a nice sculpt, so maybe I'll repaint 1 or 2 of them as I already had it, like I said, but still cool to have another. And I also got this version, which I never had before. I definitely never had this paint scheme. I've never actually seen one, even in real life, with this paint scheme. So this is super exciting to be able to get one of these that I've never even had before. And it's still pretty good shape. The dome is a little beat up, but either way, it's still in good shape and works and all. The button sticks a little bit, needs to be fixed, but either way, it's awesome. Then there is the juvenile T-Rex with the original paint scheme, I believe. I already have this guy as well, but I haven't been able to find him for quite a while, so maybe this is one that I'll end up repainting at some point, just because I think it could look very cool with the actual paint scheme of the Rex in the film. Another definitely dinos. I got a Protoceratops, which I already also had this guy, so I might take a shot at repainting some definitely dinos at some point, just to see how they look. Probably won't look that great, but it could make for some interesting videos. A Disney's Dinosaur Styracosaurus. I don't think I actually had this figure before. I have a few of this one. I could be wrong, I may actually have it and don't remember. But if I do already have it, I might repaint it, and if I don't, then it's cool to add it to the collection. Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus. He seems like he works, don't know if the sound works, so I'll have to get the batteries in. Put some batteries in it and see if they work. I actually recently had gotten a box full of dinosaurs, maybe a couple months ago actually, and it had a random frill for this figure in it, but no Dilophosaurus, so now I'll take that frill and put it on here because now I got the Dilophosaurus, but no frill in the box. So eventually it worked itself out. Then I also got this guy, and again, it's another figure I really don't know anything about. I don't know what it is exactly, so something maybe you guys can help me out with. I'm not 100% sure on the origins. It's obviously a Chaos Effect figure, but I don't know what the actual species is. It's pretty nice looking. It's got a little bit of a... Actually, it's got quite a bit of scuffs on the paint, but either way, I didn't have it before, so I'll take it regardless of the paint scuffs and all. And then an exciting turn of events in the box was this Spinosaurus's other arm. I don't have it on perfectly right now, but I'm definitely going to get it back on there, so now it is complete. There were also a few other randoms in here, like these random little pterosaurs that I don't know too much about. This little guy is some kind of a small raptor, but I don't know what he's from. And there's also this pteranodon, which looks to be an old Carnegie pteranodon. Very ugly, but something I also did not have. And there's the battle damage for the Stegosaurus, the cover to the wound that I was telling you guys about. I knew it was in here somewhere. There was also a young T-Rex, but he's missing his arm, which is very sad. Again, he's also actually missing some of his toes, but something that maybe I can go ahead and take a casting of from one of my other ones, as I do already have 2 others of this guy, and maybe put the arm back on, because otherwise it's in actually really nice shape. There's no mess ups with the actual skin or anything, being the rubber feel, which is impressive. The tail is chipped off a little bit on the end too, but maybe ultimately I can fix this guy over time when I have a chance to try and figure that out. There was also the huge Utah Raptor, and this is a figure that I was really excited to get because it's another that I never had. I was never able to find one of these when I was younger, and actually buying these to play with, and even being a collector now, I have never actually found one, so I was beyond excited. I actually know there is another paint scheme of this guy, and I prefer the other paint scheme over this one, so I'm going to continue to look for the other one, but it's still very cool to have at least one of these. As you can see, there is some capture gear and stuff in here as well, and then there is 2 random little eggs and a little apatosaurus and some little girl figure down there that will definitely be going to my daughter. But there's, like I said, a few randoms in here that's some capture gear and stuff, so that's cool too. I've just got to try to figure out what capture gear goes to what dinosaurs. And then there was also the Bull T-Rex. And this Bull Rex is actually in very good shape. There's a few paint scuffs, but nothing major otherwise on this figure. So super awesome to get another one of these guys. I do already have one. Actually, I have one of these, and I also have one of the other paint variants, but I actually, like I said, do have one of this exact paint scheme already, so that means that I'll be doing a repaint on the Bull T-Rex at some point as well. So my review station is not even remotely large enough to display all these dinosaurs for you to see at the end here together, so I had to just throw them all back in the box. But regardless, this is easily my best Jurassic Park find ever, and I could not even begin to tell you my excitement level when I saw all these figures for only $75. It was beyond exciting. I was just like kid at Christmas excited to get this box in the mail. So absolutely awesome to get all these figures for such a good price and just go ahead and fill some of the voids of my collection and get a whole bunch of stuff to repaint for future videos. It is just super exciting. So go ahead and check your local classifieds. Do not forget, because trust me, you don't want to miss out on awesome deals like this. And then please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.